NASCAR is one of the best sports in the entire world, and the reason people like it, not for just the cars, for the drivers, of course. There's a lot of drivers in NASCAR that have made up its infancy from 1950 all the way until 2024. But who are my top 10 drivers of all time? Well, here's my list of my top 10 favorite NASCAR drivers of all time. Just like the other top 10 lists, there's only two criteria. Well, actually, there isn't. This is strictly my opinion, like the other ones, so feel free to leave yours down in the comments down below. And if you leave me bad comments like in the worst video, then hey, they're being removed. I'm also being joined by Connor, but he's just watching. So, you're welcome. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Number 10, we have Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. So Ryan Newman is, what else to say about him? He's a great driver. But he was involved in a lot of airborne accidents. Wink, wink. One of them was at Talladega in 2003. One of them was at Talladega again in 2009. And one of them was at Daytona in one of the New Years, like 2020, 2021. I don't remember. I stopped watching NASCAR in 2020 as it got really bad. But Rockin' Man Ryan Newman is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great driver, and he's 10th in my list. And all these drivers I usually use in NASCAR games, so that's fun. Number 9, we have Kevin Harvick. Happy Harvick is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. That's what his nickname is. What do you say about that, Connor? Alright then, so Happy Harvick is my 9th favorite driver, mainly because, well, he has a good track record of not wrecking people. And also, when he joined the Cup Series in 2001, he had to run both the Cup Series and the Busch Series simultaneously. Remember? Because Dale Earnhardt Sr. ended up passing away. He was a Busch Series champion in 2001 and got 2 wins in the Cup Series. And 1 Rookie of the Year. Then he won his second Busch Series championship in 2006. Then he got a Cup Series championship in 2014. Isn't it amazing? Just look at that face. Harvick is my 9th favorite driver, and that's about it. Number 8 is a lot of people's favorite, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I can already hear people in the comments saying, why is Dale Earnhardt Jr. not your first or second favorite? Believe me on this one. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. is one of the best drivers of all time. He's the most popular driver from 2002 all the way until he started retiring in 2017. And yeah, he's incredible, but his concussions, his wrecks, and the fact he never won a championship is actually pretty funny in my opinion. And yeah, he was way better than his father, Dale Earnhardt Sr., who died in 2001 at Daytona with Kenny Schrader involved. But Kenny Schrader didn't die, so, you know, I guess that makes sense. The next one we have is Brad Keselowski. This used to be one of my favorite, like one of my top 5 favorites. He was my favorite before the Stern driver we're going to talk about. But Brad Keselowski has been driving since 2000, I don't remember, but he joined the Cup Series in 2009, and his first win was at Talladega when he turned Carl Edwards and he flipped into the catch fence. And then Carl Edwards did it to him at Atlanta. Which, I'm all about a death match at NASCAR, but when it turns fatal, that's not good. But Brad Keselowski is incredible, although Brad Keselowski nowadays is not really that good. I mean, he's no longer with Penske Racing, which kind of ticks me off that he isn't. He's with another team, but I guess it's okay then, I presume. Number 6 we have is Denny Hamlin. I call him Denny Hamlin. Thanks, Affleck Cup Series, I love you. But Denny Hamlin is my mother's favorite driver. It used to be Jimmy Johnson. By the way, Jimmy Johnson's not on this list, so sorry, everyone. Sorry, he's not on this list. But Denny Hamlin is a great driver, in my opinion. He's still racing to this day, although he has been adamantly, like, he's been hating NASCAR for a while. Like, he hasn't been really liking what they've been doing in some of his Twitter posts I've seen, which is fun to say, in my opinion. But Denny is a nice driver. He joined in 2006 after Jason Leffler's horrible season in number 11 in 2005. And he took over in 2006, and yeah, he did a lot of wins and did a lot of good stuff. And all that. Now we're looking at the top 5. Number 5 is Matt Crafton, the sole non-Cup Series driver in this list. So Matt Crafton is my favorite Truck Series driver of all time. Johnny Sauter, Brandon Finger, and Christopher Bell could be up there, as well as Natalie Decker, but Matt Crafton is my absolute favorite. And yes, I have an addiction with Matt Crafton in the Truck Series. In NASCAR Heat 4, I always pick him, so, yeah. It's not as bad as another driver we'll get to later, and Connor is expecting one of the drivers to appear soon. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's true. So anyways, Matt Crafton is one of my favorites, and yeah, look at that face. He's also pretty old, too. And he's still driving to this day, which is interesting. Number 4 is Giga Jeff Gordon. So Jeff Gordon is one of the best drivers of all time, and everyone likes him. My dad got me into him, and I guess I never left my dad's heart. So Jeff Gordon, as we know, he joined in 1992, I think, when he made his first start during the final race of the season when Davey Allison tried to win the championship, and then Alan Quakey won, and then 1993 Davey Allison passed away, and then Jeff Gordon became an instant hit, won a bunch of championships. Famous one was 2001, of course. And then his last season was 2015. And then he called it quits. Just like Carl Edwards. But yeah, I call him Giga Gordon. I don't know what his actual nickname is. I forgot what it was exactly. But number 3, Connor already said this one. Number 3 is Casey Mears. Shout out to Kamikaze Games, by the way, for getting me in love with Casey Mears. But Casey Mears is my 3rd favorite driver. He was my absolute favorite, but then I forgot about 2 other drivers that actually beat him. So Casey Mears is not one of the best drivers of all time. He got 3 wins, which isn't too bad. But just the track record of him wrecking and being with kind of garbage teams. He was with Chip Ganassi, which he had one of the worst rookie seasons in 2003 in the Cup Series. Followed up with 2004 and 2005 being really bad. But his first win came at the Coca-Cola 600 in 2007. And it was fuel mileage, sure, but still, it's impressive. And then he was with Mike Waltrip Racing and Germain Racing for the rest of his career, where he ended up retiring in 2018 or 2019, I don't remember. But yeah, he's my 3rd favorite. Number 2 is Mark Martin. So Mark Martin is one of the all-time greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. He's been racing since the 80s. However, 1982 or 1983, he had to retire from NASCAR because of 2 sponsors, Apache Stove and Jim J.D. Stacy, which they weren't paying him, and then he had to quit his dreams of being a NASCAR star. But then once the 90s came around, he was back at full force. And Mark Martin is one of the best Cup Series drivers, but he's also one of the best Busch Series drivers of all time, where he won a whole bunch of Busch races in a row, as well as some Cup races in a row. Although he never won a championship, he was one of the greatest. And then he stopped racing in 2015, taking over the 55 car when Brian Vickers wasn't in it. Good on you, Mark. We'll miss you on Sundays every other day in NASCAR, buddy. So what's number 1? If anyone knows what number 1 is, then that's cool. But number 1 is my favorite driver, Martin Truex Jr., sipping on Coke with the Busch Series trophy right in front of him. What a lad. And then he probably gets... No, Taylor. God damn it. So Martin Truex Jr. is my absolute favorite NASCAR driver of all time. The first time I watched him was the 2004 Busch Series season, where he got his first championship. And in 2005, he got his 2nd championship. However, the time I started watching him in the Cup Series was 2017, when he had probably the best season. He got a lot of wins and a championship. And I remember when I was watching the Homestead race in 2017 in front of my family, I lost it in front of my family. He won the championship. I screamed so hard that the cops were called because they thought I was being murdered. But no, it's because I loved Martin Truex Jr. and I wanted him to win a damn championship. And he finally did. And then my mother didn't want me around in the living room anymore watching NASCAR because of it. And then I did the exact same thing when Ross Chastain won a race. Because, of course. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Connor, have anything else to say before I go? You want to snort some crack, Taylor? Aw. I guess goodbye then. And